Hi everyone, Aaron Solly here from Engage Coaching Group. I just wanted to share with you just some insights of what I find has been really important to help my clients take their life, their career to the next level. So I'm just going to spend some time with you and going through that with you today. And ultimately, when I work with sales and customer success professionals, what I believe is that there's amazing talents and gifts within them that they can bring to their organization, their community, and ultimately to the world. And so, when I work with people, this quote from Carl Jung really resonates with the work that I do. So, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. So this is about awakening people and helping them transform their careers and their personal life and all the relationships and all those people that are important to them to levels that they never could have imagined. And so my mission, is it's around mental health and it's around helping sales and customer service, or customer success professionals. I want to enrich and support the mental health of these individuals, 1 million of them. And so that involves, working with them in a variety of different ways and helping them ultimately improve their mindset, improve their mental state so that they can, really walk forward with the values that are important to them and be true to the beliefs of who they are, right? And not be believing in these things that are false about them, and to be able to get the career that they want, to be able to start the business they want, to be able to write that book that they want, to be able to travel where they want, to be able to raise kids the way they want. So whatever that may be, and the goals that they have is to help them from a mental health perspective, because I find that this group of individuals are really impacted from a mental health perspective these days. And I've been there. I was 15 years in the financial services industry, and when you're in a customer service role in a retail environment, especially, it could be in a business to business environment as well. There's demanding clients. There's clients they're high paying clients to the company, but they are not very nice to the customer service people. And that's really tough if you're in a customer service or success role, because you're doing your best and people are not being very friendly and nice to you when you're working as hard as you can at 120%, right? And salespeople are dealing with higher targets, right? Less shortened territories, smaller territories, bigger targets, because the companies are wanting to grow, increase their market share. And how do you do that all on your own? Because a lot of salespeople are not able to scale and build out their own little mini business, if you will, and have assistants and other people underneath them. It's always themselves, right? They have to just figure it out on their own, which is very difficult and challenging. And for myself, it led to depression and anxiety, which I see is happening to more and more people in these professions. And that's why I'm really focused on helping them and improving from this perspective so that they can have the career that they've always wanted. They can have ultimately the relationships that they've wanted with their spouse and their kids and their family and their friends. That's really important. And your mental health can help you do that, and being in the right state to do that. Right. So one of the questions that I find that people end up, informing that they've been asking themselves when they're in these roles is, how can I shift my career to be in more alignment with my passion? And this may be people that are saying this because of the stress. They're overwhelmed, the stress levels are really high, and they just want to get out, which may not be necessarily the right strategy, because the stress and the overwhelm could be blinding things and keeping them stuck and not allowing them to see what's really going on. So that's where the mental health side of things can help. Other people may actually have a valid reason that, okay, I've recognized I've tried this, I've done this for a long time. There's something else that I'm really passionate about and I want to transition. Ultimately, no matter what area you may be in, because you may want to stay with where you are, you may want to look elsewhere. And and it may be the same type of industry or it may be completely different. Depending on if all of a sudden you have recognized your passion for teaching and you want to look at ways to be able to now become a teacher or a professor at a university, or starting a coaching practice or becoming a real estate agent, whatever that may be for you. uh, what I find is people are within, 4 different zones, right? There's the red zone, where these are people that are they're essentially in a status quo mindset. So they don't really see the ability to change their situation. They're just going through the motions. This is what they're in the role that they were told they should be in, or the industry they should be in, because it's safe and secure. You get lots of benefits. You're going to get a pension, and they're waiting until 65, and then they'll decide if they'll retire or come back and work part time, or maybe even decide at 65, okay, now I'm going to do what I really want to do, right? So they're just following the motions and doing status quo, right? The next, the yellow zone, is the thinking mindset. So these are individuals that are researching and reading, and they're in contemplation mode. They're actually starting to see, okay, maybe there is something else I can do with my career, or there's something else that I really want to do. And they're not taking steps yet. They're just researching things, and they're starting to talk to people, whether in their organization or outside their organization, or they're networking. They're starting to talk to people in that have roles that, or companies that they would love to have or be in, and just learning. They're just absorbing all the information and seeing, is this possible? Can I actually do this, right? And so they're in that thinking mindset. And then the next level up from that is the action mindset. So these are people that they're taking the steps to move forward with their career and their relationships and their who they want to be in the world. So they're taking courses, and they've not only taken the course, but they're implementing what they learned. Right? They're very, very diligent about the different steps they need to take. All those people they talk to in the thinking mindset zone, they're now taking all those learnings and they're now moving forward. Okay, if I want to start a business, I got to start it part-time. These are the different things I need to do in order to do that. Or if I want to get from a sales role to a sales manager role, these are the targets I need to hit. And if I want to be a district manager or a director level within an organization, these are the things that I need to start to work on. And these are the types of results I need to see. And so they're just in full momentum mode. They're moving forward and taking action. All right. And then the next level, which a lot of people don't really realize exists, there's a small number that are there, is the thriving mindset. So this is where things become more purposeful, and things become more driven by a bigger reason, or making a bigger impact. So these are individuals that have been able to take their career and scale it in a way that allows them to maybe have more time in certain aspects of their life. So maybe they've been able to hit their targets so that they can take off a month or two, and they've actually taken the time off. They're not continually working. They actually unplug because they know, okay, I've hit my targets, and they've negotiated that if I do this, I get to have a month off or 2 months off in a row, whatever that may be, right? Or they're now expanding their reach from their small area where they're working into, how can I do this nationally? How can I do this across North America? How can I do this across the world, right? Or they're starting to work with nonprofit organizations and giving back to those organizations that are really important to them, right? And so there's more of a purposeful initiative there. They're really key, they're really tied in, and they're solid in who they are. They know who they are, they know their values, and they know, who they're going to be moving forward. And they're just stepping into things that way. So it's not just about earning money and hitting their sales targets and hitting these, getting these awards and recognitions. The ego is gone, and it's more about, how can I, teach others of what and then be successful? How can I use the financial capabilities that I've earned to be able to make a bigger impact, right? So the key outcome that I find to move within these different zones, the key outcome is purposeful commitment. So what these individuals have been able to do is, as they move through and get to that thriving mindset stage, is their commitments are done from a bigger perspective. There's purpose there. It's a bigger reason than just getting that next client, or to help their company succeed and gain market share. There's a bigger reason for what they're doing. And if I take this further and look at, okay, so what are the different outcomes to expand on that, if we look at purposeful commitment, there's other outcomes that happen. And before I get there, I wanted to share, what the typical conversation tends to happen initially with people when they come to me and they're looking for help. And so a lot of them talk about, okay, these are the goals that I want to set, and I want to get my career up to a certain level, or I want to transition out in the next 6 to 12 months. These are the goals that I have in place, or I'm just, the communication skills at home are not working because I'm so busy at work. So I want to get better at how do I communicate more effectively with my spouse and my kids, and have a stronger connection there and get more life, work-life balance back. Improving communication. I just talked about that. How do I decrease stress in my life? What can I do to help my mental health and my physical health? How do I find a fulfilling career? Like I've been doing this job for 10 years. I make really good money, but it's just not, it's not what I meant to do. I went in this profession because this is what others in my family or my friend circles did at a university, and, great paying job, but it's just not exciting me anymore like it used to. So how do I do that? And then the whole more time with family, that work-life balance. How do I get more of that time back so we can start to do the things we love to do, getting outdoors, going camping, traveling the world, having different adventures, whatever that may look like. And so, these types of conversations lead into, okay, here's the different coaching options, one-on-one or group coaching. These are different courses that are available for you to take. These are different workshops that I offer, and then here's some books that I've written, right? So what I find is that these are really surface conversations. Me having a conversation at this level is really not beneficial to anybody because it's not getting to the core of what they want to accomplish. So if we take that deeper and we look more at those outcomes of what ultimately does setting goals, improving communication, having more time with family, having a fulfilling career, decreasing stress, like what is that all for? Like, why is that important? And I talked earlier about purposeful commitment, is that they want to be able to have commitments in their life that are sustainable, and they know that they're there for a bigger reason. And so when I commit to this, it's not just about me, the individual. There's a bigger reason for it. And then the other thing that I find is my clients are looking for connection, but they're looking for compassionate connection. It's not just connection to build rapport and to ultimately get something from somebody, like a referral or a new client or a new sale. There's more. It's a human connection, and it's a long-term connection whenever possible, and to be able to really get to know people and who they are, where they came from, know their family, know their kids, know what they're up to, where they like to travel, really get to know people better, and to have that connection. It's so important, and a lot of times stress and anxiety can make us believe that we don't want connection, when actually when we have it, and we have it from the right place and the right reasons, it's so powerful and so beneficial. Right? And actually, just before I go on to the next one, that connection is also to themselves. Self-love and compassion towards oneself in that busy sales and customer service environment, so that you're not just always taking care of other people, you're actually taking care of yourself as well. Just want to add that. And then the next one is around learning, because what I find in the world of sales and customer service, these individuals are open to learning, and what are the new ways to communicate with clients? What are the new opportunities to build relationships with people, and how to expand my territory and get the most out of it? Like there's so much learning that these individuals are open to doing. And what I find is the people I'm working with they're looking for learning, but they're looking for transformational learning. So learning that they can use, and not just be okay, I took the course, checked off a box, and put the book binder in the file cabinet. No, it's actually, how do I start to implement this and use it right away? How can I learn something today and start communicating better with my kids and my spouse, in a short period of time, in a few days, in a week? How can I start to look at my my processes and the ways that I'm approaching my career in a way where I can start to tweak things, right? And I can look at my calendar and where I want to fit in, maybe connecting with people that are in jobs that I really want to get into. How do I start fitting that into my calendar? Or how do I start fitting into my calendar ways to start taking care of myself and exercising more? So just simple and easy ways to learn and be able to transform efficiently and not having to necessarily do things a year from now, but do little baby steps to see progression within 30, 60, 90 days type of thing. And then what I find is we can even go deeper than this. So we look at this iceberg analogy. You may have heard of this before, how that surface conversation is really the tip of the iceberg, and there's so much more underneath. We talk about those outcomes being underneath, and now there's something even bigger, and that's the bigger aspect of the iceberg. And what I find ultimately people are looking for is they want to create everlasting change in their life, and that means something different for everybody. So for you, it could be connected to communication, soft skills for yourself. It could be financial. It could be your health. It really depends on the individuals, right? But I find that clients they want to change their life, but they don't just want to change and then go back to the old ways they were doing things. They want to change and to be able to be more solid in who they are. So, following values that are important to them and not important to others, right? Creating boundaries so that they're taking care of themselves all the time versus just, beginning of the year, I'm going to start getting healthy and start exercising, and then within 30 days falling off the wagon and getting back to poor eating habits and not exercising and that, right? So creating everlasting change, so the change is permanent, and not meaning that it's going to be perfect. It's I'm definitely not perfect myself. I've changed aspects of my life, and I still make mistakes. We're human, right? But to be able to have it so that the majority of the time the change has happened, right? And if we go off course, we're able to easily go back on track and not be swayed by other people. So other people say, oh no, you shouldn't do that. That's risky. Or you've been in this career for 15 years. Why would you want to change now? And so these people that may kind of make us go back to this other path to the side where we want to go forward, and to be able to say, no, you know what, I'm committed to this, and I know this is possible, and I'm going to take things that are not, they're not, super risky, but I'm going to take baby steps so that I'm not taking on any more risk. I'm not putting my family in a tough situation. I'm going to make changes that are manageable and that are going to help me get to where I want to get to. And so if you look at this further and look at this pyramid diagram here, when I'm watching people move through these different stages of their growth, at the bottom of the scale, there's people that are of this pyramid. There's people that are in survival mode, right? And that's the status quo mindset. So they're really just going through the motions, and these people tend to be followers versus leaders. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that there's, like I said earlier, there's talents and abilities within them, and they're just not seeing the possibility of being able to utilize them. And so they tend to be resistant to change. There's a belief that change is going to cause bad things to happen, or it's just not going to work. So something's happened in their life where change has caused some stress or some anxiety, and so not wanting to feel that anxiety, it's better to just maintain status quo so you don't have to get in that outside of the comfort zone type of thing, right? And so this is very monotonous, right? It's just going through the motions, and this being in the survival mode, fear is really what's at the forefront. And then moving up the pyramid here, we look at people that are now in that heightened possibility stage. So there's more awareness around there's something that could be possible. This could actually be doable. I've seen other people in my situation do this, right? It's possible. Or I'm believing now that I could actually make this work, right? Based on the research I've done, based on the people I've talked to, doesn't have to be the way that I had been, the way that I've been following all along here. There's other ways I can look at things, other perspectives, right? So this is that thinking mindset. They're starting to recognize that, this doesn't have to be a certain linear path. I can ebb and flow through things, right? And so I'm going to review the options. I'm not going to take any action yet. I'm just going to review options. Maybe I'll take a course here or there, or look into a course, but it's not going to be anything, be a free course. It'll be, lots of research. I'm not going to make any major investments or make any major steps here, but I know that there's a possibility here. I just want to look at that closer. And I did this myself. I was researching coaching for many years of my banking career because I was fascinated by coaching and reading lots of books about it, and even writing books. I was fascinated by different authors, Hay Health authors like Wayne Dyer and Marianne Williamson, and I was following other authors like Brian Tracy and Joe Nunziata. So I was like interested. How could I possibly write a book? So this is where I was in this stage myself. I can relate to that. And then there's these individuals are in contemplation, really just kind of contemplating: is this possible? Can I either look at promoting to a level that I had never thought of before, maybe a different department in my organization. I've been in sales and customer service. Maybe I can go to the learning department. Maybe I can go to be more part of HR, because HR was something I took in university, perhaps, right? And then there's the next stage, the green stage, which is people are there's activated motivation that's happening. So it's the action mindset, right? So there's movement forward happening, right? There's new habits are being created, and these habits, are sustainable for a certain period of time. They may not necessarily be sustainable forever, but they are in motion and moving forward. And these individuals are focused on results. So, I want to hit X sales target in the next 90 days. So everything they're doing, every habit they're doing is focused on achieving that. Or I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 90 days. And having everything all laid out and having a plan of action how to do that. So very action oriented, right? Or I want to look at transitioning my career to getting a master's in education, or maybe looking at becoming an accountant, or starting my own business. And then now they're doing action to do that. Okay, what do I need to do to start a business? What are the steps I need to take? Because they've done all the research, and now they're taking the movement forward and maybe starting part-time as a start, and then looking to do progress to being full-time. So there's lots of momentum happening here. And for these individuals, things are going really well, right? They're getting sales results, they're getting new clients, maybe they're getting promotions if they're with an organization. So things are going really well. Things at home are really well. They're more connected to their family. They're communicating more effectively. Their stress levels are lower. So life is really good at this stage. And then there's that upper level stage that I'm going to call exponential growth, right? So this is the other level where it's that thriving mindset that I talked about. So these individuals are now at a place where everything is purposeful. Everything is from a big, they're doing things for a bigger reason than just to increase their income, right? They're looking at, how can I change my my lifestyle to fit, who I am, right? Who do I want to be? And so they're incorporating travel, if they love to travel, maybe more time with kids. So maybe starting to find ways. How can I work less? Still hit the targets I am, but maybe I work 3 or 4 days a week. And how can I make that work? Right? And now with everything being remote, this can help people with, okay, how can I adapt my work so that I do get to spend more time with family? Because now I'm working at home more. right? I get to be at home more, which perhaps sometimes in a sales role, especially if you're having to travel, sometimes salespeople are not at home for periods of time because they're going to trade shows or they're seeing clients and out of their main area, and they have to stay overnight, or they're traveling quite a bit. So having more time, more that life balance, and these individuals, they really know who they are. They're really solid in their values. They're sticking to their values, and they're not being wavered by them. There's non-negotiable values that they probably would have wavered on back in the earlier stages, and now they're very solid in who they are, and they want to surround themselves with the right people so that they have this deeper connection to who they are, but they also are connected to those that are important to them. So their family, their kids, their friends, their colleagues, anybody that they have in their circle is now in that same thriving mindset as them, and they're surrounded by people that are supportive of where they're headed, right? And enabling them to move forward from a place that they can now they're making enough money where they can give to certain organizations. Maybe they can start their own nonprofit, or they can go to a third world country and make a huge difference there by building a school, or you name it. Like looking at ways to just add more of an impact in the greater world. And I refer to this area as where the miracles happen, right? So things start to happen that you never would have thought could have been possible, right? So a chance meeting, on vacation ends up being this amazing new friend that results in some, really cool joint partnership to be able to make an impact in some capacity, or start a business that's going to just solve so many problems for business owners or for people that are struggling. There's things that they don't seem to be logical that are starting to come into to your world, where it's like, wow, like I've just been purposeful and focused on being who I am, and I just met some amazing people, or this amazing connection happened, or I've been meaning to and wanting to meet this this person, this mentor that wrote these books that that I've been following for years, and they've been a mentor to me, but they didn't even know it, because it was just through the following them on social media and going to seeing them live and talk, and never actually meeting them. But now I get to work with them, maybe like a Jack Canfield, just from my perspective, or a Hay House author or something like that. Like the connections that happen, the opportunities that come up, just seem to come out of nowhere. So these are the ways that I help people, and I like I said earlier, I love helping people in those areas, the yellow and the light green zones, where they're looking to take things to the next level. They're looking to get to exponential growth. And so if what you hear today, if this resonates with you, if you'd love to just talk a little bit more and just see if there's things that I can help you with creating a plan to get you there, would love to have a conversation. There's more information in the comments of this video that you can access to be able to connect. So hope you really enjoyed this presentation and was able to benefit from it. Thanks so much.